Hello, I'm Sam. I'm not mentally retarded, and what I did was absolutely normal. For me. I met a girl once. I went up to her on the street. Of course, I, like all guys, was hooked on her appearance. Within the first few minutes of getting to know her, I already felt a coldness coming from this girl, a sort of arrogance, but I still managed to get her number. Then I thought, maybe this is some kind of test. Okay, fine. The girl was hot, a 9 out of 10. If she had been acting right, I would have given her a 10. I asked her out to a cafe for some coffee, and she agreed. I, of course, don't come from the richest family. I dress like an ordinary guy. When she showed up for the date, I was kind of blown away by her outfit, and she was even more shocked by mine. There were some rings on it, it was shiny, there was some kind of pink fur all over it, and there was a choker on her neck. And she had at least 20 layers of makeup on. She looked at me and said something like, "Well, you could have dressed better. How about at least shining your shoes? And it wouldn't have hurt to get a haircut." I pretended like I thought she was joking. What a strange girl. We were meeting in a cafe, not at a fashion show. Okay, so we're sitting in the cafe and she decides to call me out and says, "I hear you're slurping. Ugh, it's disgusting." I almost busted out laughing and was going to tell her to eat a dick, but I restrained myself. What a prissy little bitch. With mutual disdain, we ended the date. As we parted ways, she said, "I liked you, but you need to change your image and some normal clothes from boutiques won't hurt you, and some more lessons in etiquette." I couldn't find the words to reply, but then a sick, ridiculous idea came to my mind. I wanted to hear her fart. Now, that would be a shame. Yeah, I want to hear it, and for her to hear it, and to see her reaction. So, I invited her to my house for the weekend. I promised her a fantastic dinner of the highest class by candlelight, just for her, and it would be insanely romantic. You see, this kind of girl will meet another guy after me and will criticize him. Then she will meet another and tell him how inferior he is. Such people are the causes of inferiority complexes. So basically, I decided to teach her a lesson, and here's how. While she is visiting me, I'll put a little laxative in her food. It'll make her ass whistle and fart like a train approaching a railway crossing. Choo-choo! And I'll get it all on audio with the recorder in my bathroom. Yeah, and by the way, I'm 20 years old. I'm the man, just a genius of my time. I'm so proud of myself. So basically, it happened on a Saturday. I made the perfect dinner. I had to drop $90 to order food from a restaurant, but it was worth it. We were having dinner by candlelight and drinking her favorite almond latte. I purposely ordered it to mix in some milk of magnesia. It was only a matter of time before the laxative in her stomach did its job, and we would hear the eruption of the most beautiful volcano in the world. I have to admit, she had a rather strong stomach. I had to entertain her for a whole nother hour on the couch before it started. She began to squirm. I realized that it was time to act. I went to the bathroom and hid the recorder. Everything was ready. I could hardly hold back my smile. When I came back, she started squirming even more, squeezing her legs together and biting her lip. Her face looked like she was trying to get a 200-pound barbell off her chest. Then she asked me to call her a taxi and wanted to get out of my house as fast as she could. I suddenly realized that she was about to get off the hook. I pretended that I had to take a phone call and walked out of the house. I put my cell phone to my ear and talked with an imaginary friend. At that moment, as soon as I left, she scrambled to the bathroom. After 5 minutes, I came back in. She was already sitting on the couch. Her face looked calm and peaceful. I knew that she had done her dirty work. I couldn't wait any longer. I really wanted to hear it and immediately went to the bathroom, but she stopped me. Apparently, she wanted to kiss me, but I quickly realized that she just didn't want me to go to the bathroom after she had just been in there. I could imagine how much it must have stunk in there. My eyes would probably tear up. Okay, I'll wait. We went and sat on the couch again and talked for another half hour, and I must admit, I even liked Linda after she let off a little steam. That was this girl's name. So after half an hour, I got to the recorder and went outside to listen to it. Oh Lord, it was so loud. I was afraid that she would even hear it through the walls of my house. I muffled the recording and listened again. It would definitely be the hit of the season. Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. Hold my beer. I bet you $100 that if we launched this hit on the Billboard charts, it would win #1 song on the top 100. But let's get down to business. So I go over to her with a proud look on my face, and she looks at me confused. With the press of one button, we both hear. In a panic, she grabbed the recorder and tried to turn it off while the sound of her farting rang throughout the room. She was blushing so hard then. She just had no words. I even felt sorry for her for a second. I laughed and tried to explain to her why I did it. She also opened up and told me that her image was something imposed on her by her friends and her environment. She just couldn't be seen in ordinary clothes. She was afraid to look ridiculous, afraid to be laughed at. She always had to look good, both in life and on Instagram. She was extremely worried about what people thought of her, you know? This isn't just her problem, it's a global problem. I'll tell you, screw what other people think, and I told her the same thing. Several months have passed since then. We are still together, and you know, I still haven't deleted that recording.
Hi, I'm Annie. I'm 19 years old, and I'm Supergirl. I will fearlessly rescue your kitten from a burning building, get in a cage with a dangerous predator, and walk along the railing of a bridge directly over a bottomless abyss. But I am not immortal at all, and don't possess any other superpower. All my fearlessness is just a symptom of an incurable disease. I suffer from a rare genetic disease. It's called Urbach-Wiethe disease. It destroys the amygdala in the brain, which is responsible for the formation of feelings of fear and the preservation of memories of it. This means that if a Nile crocodile bit off my right hand while I was trying to pet it, the next time I would reach for it with my left hand. My brain would not communicate a sense of danger to me, and the feeling of fear isn't familiar anyway. It's the self-preservation instinct that helps us survive. So I'm always in great danger. Everything I just told you is a harsh example. My grandmother, who has been raising me since childhood, since I lost my parents, has compiled a whole list of things that I will not do, and she makes me recite it every day. Until about 7 or 8 years old, I was an ordinary child. The disease gradually took hold as it destroyed such a small yet important section of my brain. Only after I jumped out of my bedroom window on the 2nd floor just for fun and broke my leg did they give me the heavy diagnosis. In the entire world, no more than 300 cases of Urbach-Wiethe disease are known, so it's no surprise that a cure for it doesn't exist. Yet. By the way, the first item on the list of things I was forbidden to do was to not go into a burning building. It happened after I sneaked into a neighbor's house that was on fire when I was 11 years old. I could hear a cat in there. Luckily, the firefighters got me out just in time. For a long time after that, my grandmother made me repeat that I would stay away from fire. Not knowing the reason for my fearlessness, the kids at school began daring me to do various things. I always refused because I remembered my grandmother's instructions not to try anything new, since I couldn't assess the level of danger by myself. But when I was offered a dare for money, I couldn't resist. So at 14, I earned my first $50 by walking along the railing of an old bridge. It wasn't very high, and the railing wasn't too narrow, and I happened to have pretty good sense of balance. But I realized that it was very cool to the guys when they handed me the money. New dares started pouring in. It became a kind of game under the unofficial name of Scare Me If You Can. The highest bid was that I could not spend even 1 hour in an old abandoned building known in the past as an institution for the mentally ill. I told them that it would be easy, and I would even stay there the whole night. The guys kept watch at the exit, and when it got dark, they all went home. I wandered through the empty corridors and went to bed on a piece of cardboard on the floor. The police found me in the middle of the night. My grandmother put the whole city on high alert when I didn't come home after school, and one of my friends gave away my whereabouts. Public school was over for me, and I got transferred to homeschool, and I didn't get to collect my prize money for that dare. I celebrated my 16th birthday by going on a motorcycle ride with a guy I knew. It accelerated, and I was thrilled with the feeling of the insane speed. I screamed for him to go faster and faster until he lost control, and we crashed. I spent almost 3 months in the hospital, and when I got home, I asked my grandmother to add it to the list. I've been sticking to it for a year now. I only hope that we've considered all possible dangerous situations. Thank you for listening to my story.